Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now it's Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're overpacking your carry-on, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That is the thing to do.
It really is.
Yeah.
Getting about 80, 90 pounds in there.
If it doesn't fit in the little cage, push harder. Yes, indeedy. Lots of people packing carry-ons. Lots of people have unpacked carry-ons because they've already arrived down at big happenings this weekend. See? CRS 98, greetings from the Northwest. Thank you. Corner of Flagstaff, Arizona.
Is he standing on the corner in Flagstaff, Arizona?
You never know.
Okay.
So here, that's a thing. Tonight, we're talking about events. Maybe not specifically the big event this coming weekend, although we'll probably touch on that. But we're talking about the evolution, or evolution if you prefer, of geocaching events, past, present, and future.
Now I'm a little afraid. Just a little.
Just a little. I'll try harder next time. Live audience, share your thoughts with us about events.
Thank you so much. Yes. Hey, lost it. Okay. For those astute viewers, we're without a monkey tonight. And
that's what's different. I couldn't put a finger on it.
And we're without a chat lackey. So we are completely Southern and free, and we're going to be just as American as we can be.
Okay.
CRS 98 says, I've run into at least half a dozen caching in the Northwest listeners.
Well, that's awesome.
And, usually insurance takes care of that. So he's got nothing to worry about.
Low speed impact, hopefully.
The corner was in Winslow, Arizona.
Standing in a corner in Winslow, Arizona. It's such a fine sight to see.
However,
it wasn't, was it?
It wasn't. Yeah. The song says that, but there's an event there because it actually was in Flagstaff.
Yeah. We covered that on a recent podcast, as I recall.
So anyway, just, hey, you know what? Even though I appreciate details like that, I appreciate the support of our patrons who keep this podcast coming each and every week. And thanks to Land Sharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Check it out at landsharks.ca. That's LANDSHARKZ.ca. I did it with a Z because they are Canadian. So
that's true.
Where I will give the Land Sharks the credit there. Maybe not Land Monkey. He's out of the picture. He's not here, but I'm doing it for them.
Yeah.
And our other corporate Denali level sponsor, that's Gold Country Geotourism. Visit exploregoldcountry.com to learn more about the geotours and the region. Don't forget to download that app. It is so important and so useful. You can find out more at facebook.com Explore Gold Country. And if you want to know more about supporting this here show, click the Patreon link somewhere on that cachingnw.com website. And folks, let me push all the buttons and get things moving here. It's time for the glow. Now, people on the corner in Winslow, Arizona have asked, what is a glow?
They have, but they're out of earshot tonight. So I'll play along and ask, what is a glow?
Why, thank you. Well, the glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a recording on that fancy phone you have. If you've got a flip phone, it's okay. We got you covered. Call into 253-693-TFTC. You can still use your own voice. Or you can use the fancy non-flip phone, because if it flips, it falls out of your hand, falls in the cement and breaks, and that's expensive. So don't try to flip it. You can email that to feedback@cachingnw.com and show us just how you glow.
That's right. Let's see. This glow came to us from Heather A. That's Habus. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Well, I saw that and I was like, habeas corpus.
That's not.
Not what we're going for.
I don't know. But however you pronounce it, thanks for sending in the glow. And it was the log that she wrote herself. It says, I don't believe it. I actually found it. Don't trust Google directions. We could just stop there because you've learned enough for tonight. No.
Yeah.
Don't trust Google directions. It tries to send you into the apartment complex. I parked at the north end near the water bureau gate. That means that the instructions were backwards for me. I made my way to the start and found the beginning coordinates. Unfortunately, the rusty wire broke off and I couldn't find it in the debris on the ground. I left it tucked in between rocks. I had the next clue, so back down I went. I had seen the second clue earlier, so I knew what to do there, and at the coordinates I found a huge fallen tree, so I hypothesized where the cache might have gone. I went back and forth, reloaded the coordinates a few times, and finally, after about an hour, so clearly more dedicated than I usually am looking for a cache.
15, maybe 20 minutes. I'm fuming and ready to go.
She says, I was ready to give up, though I really hated to. My geosenses said to check just one more spot before I go. Hallelujah, there it was. The fallen tree was not its home, but it did help me find it in the end. Cache is in good shape.
In the end of the tree?
Could be. We don't know.
Just
And I
saying.
can't tell you what cache this was because I didn't get a GC code submitted with it. So you'll just have to wonder.
Well, if you wanted to know more about Heather or Habus, Habus, that it's a tough one. Well, Heather, give us the proper pronunciation there. She's in Beaverton, driving up to Everett on Saturday.
Well, all right.
In case you wanted to know where Heather was, in case you needed to know how to find this particular cache.
Spending quality time in the Northwest.
That's right. And there's no better place than being in the Northwest.
She's going more norther and more wester than, well,
That's true.
wester.
I'm heading souther and wester,
Everett,
souther and easter.
She'll be more northwest than I am in Tri-Cities when she's in Everett.
That's true. Hey, tonight we are talking about the evolution of events, right?
Indeed.
So if you want to jump into tonight's show, use the hashtag events to bring up something in the chat. And of course, use the hashtag FATAS to bring up something in the after show. In fact, we already have a hashtag FATAS. People seem to know I'm going to say it before I do. They must have these premonitions. They could be seismic.
You never know.
So we are on the Adam of Geo Woodstock.
Yes, comes before Eve.
Thank you. And we want to talk about the evolution of geocaching events and take questions and comments from our live audience and the almost live hosts. I've got to get up at some ungodly hour. It's an hour that you know is there, but you don't want to know anything about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Geo Woodstock's coming this weekend. And this is the official podcast of a Geo Woodstock that passed already. Not
That's
this
right.
one.
Well, that was one of my best investments in advertising of Geo Woodstock. I got 3 years out of it.
That's right. Oh, and we'll cover that. So, okay. So I see too many things going by. See, without a chat lucky, I'm distracted. Squirrel. We're talking about events. And so let's go back to, well, let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
I think it is.
The first event. We're going to talk about our first geocaching event. It happens to be the same one. Weirdly enough, we got geocaching started about the same time.
I knew I went to an event with you, but I didn't realize it was your first event.
I didn't either until I looked at the stats. But if you, dear listeners, viewers, chat participants, have a noteworthy story to tell or a note about your first event, tell us what you remember about your first event. Mine was a fun one. It was a cache machine, a mini cache machine. Involved a ferry ride over to Anderson Island, put on by Team Noltex, and it was a great time.
Yes, you dragged me along there.
I did.
That was good.
That was back when I had to course you into caching, and then you hit the accelerator and left me in the dust.
It's like, oh, this is fun.
But that was fun.
That was fun. So, guys, while we're telling you about the first the first event, start telling us about your first event, your early event, or one that is most memorable to you. I remember one. It was for a puzzle solving and then finding event.
Hmm.
I want to say we used maybe Twitter, maybe Google Plus, some social media platform to try to figure out this puzzle. I had absolutely no clue how to get started on the puzzle or how to solve it.
Yeah, some of those puzzles are just way over my head.
Yeah. It was in Federal Way near the swim center, the aquatic
Hmm.
center there. I remember
You know,
that.
at a library, I think maybe, or
Maybe there
coffee
yeah,
shop.
there's something around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and I just followed the crowd, to be honest, until someone found the cache. And like, hey, 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 yeah, I'll put my name on it because I was here. I came up with some ideas how to not solve the puzzle so people could, free their minds to think on how to solve the puzzle. Right.
Yeah.
I do that in big searches too. Everybody's going to this spot. Let me go over here just in case the coordinates are off. And then I can clear out that area. You don't have to worry. I searched there. It's not there.
Okay.
So the first event,
Yes.
again, folks, start typing in and telling us about your first event.
Well,
The
CRS 98 already has.
I know. Isn't he cool?
It's awesome.
The cache page for the first ever event cache starts with a modest quote. Come have a beer and meet people whose names you've seen written in the logbooks. Austin seems to have enough people interested in geocaching to pull this off. The date? March 24th, 2001. The name of the event was Austin Geocachers Happy Hour.
Hmm.
That's GC 389. So that's very early on, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and it sounds like it's something I would have enjoyed going to.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of GC codes, Heather contributes that the glow tonight was
Hmm.
from GC 6 Tango Juliet 41, a multi-cache, southeast of Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Southeast.
It's opposite of Northwest, but we'll forgive her.
That's okay. You got to start from somewhere.
That's right. If you're in the
So
Southeast, everything is Northwest from there.
there you go. There you go. So this first event, Rich or Eogan, along with Rachel, Princess or Pumpkin Princess, hosted the first event. And by the way, Rich and Rachel got married in 2003. So
Oh, but that was quite
hosting
the
an
event.
event may be a good thing.
You never know.
Yeah. Rich's instructions for finding the group of geocachers at the coordinates were simple and still work for event caches today. Look for GPS units on the tables or someone wearing one of the geocaching.com t-shirts.
Usually a pretty good start.
I don't know if you'd see GPS units on the table anymore. Some people
Probably
still
not.
have them.
There's something about a geocacher, you can usually spot another geocacher when
That's
you're
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Crazy knows crazy.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Did I say that out loud?
I didn't hear it.
Okay. Rich's instructions. Oh, no, we did that one. He said in early 2001, interest in geocaching was really taking off. Lots of creative new cache types were being hidden. Austin went from one cache on January 1st to a couple dozen by early March, including micros, multis, letterbox, and themed caches. As Pumpkin Princess and I sought out each new cache listed, we saw a similar set of names showing up on the logbooks, and I started to get curious about what these other people were like. So I posted the coordinates of my favorite pub, offered the enticement of a free beer to the first finder, and hoped that someone would show. More than a dozen people logged to Smiley for the event, and Rich knows why. We're social animal, or yeah, I jumped ahead. Hold on. We're social storytelling animals, and we love to tell tales of the hunt and feel a sense of community. And there's one more reason, he says. People love event caches. The swag, of course. In this
Swag is
case, it was a free beer. And who doesn't love a free beer? As far as being the first to host a geocaching event, Rich says, that one, that was the one to host. No,
That
sorry.
I was the one to host the first event is more a matter of luck than anything else, he said.
Thank you so much. Go ahead and finish. You do this so much better.
Let's see. Using coordinates and posting the event as a cache was the obvious approach for a geo get together. Happened to be I happened to be in the right place and find out about geocaching at the right time. If I hadn't done it, someone else certainly would have.
See, you do that so well. And somebody else's turn of phrase just gets stuck in my mouth, and I want to phrase it the way I would speak it, and it never comes out right.
Sometimes it's fun to just sit back and watch you flounder, but I thought I'd
I know. Thank you. And I'll keep doing it. I'm
okay.
stubborn enough. I'll get through it. I just have to disconnect my brain and let the words go through my eyes and right out my mouth without thinking about them.
Well, let's see. Our first event then was oh yeah, how to find geocaches at an event. CRS 98 said it's the bit of sticks in your hair that are a giveaway. Um, Events seem to be a good thing to do. Cache machines for first events. The Camp Clan first event was the Gig Harbor Cache Machine in 2004. Um, Wed Coaster says the first event for Green Words was the 2014 Block Party.
Oh, that's a pretty big event for your first
That's a
one.
big one. Let's see,
Y-
and
That's when you have to tell people they're not all like this.
yeah, yeah. And CRS 98 says first event was in November of 2008. It was Johnny's Blazin' Beach Barbecue event in Mukilteo. Shockingly, it was a nice day. And yeah, Mukilteo is not always good weather up there, but
Especially in November.
yeah. But he says, I met many people whose names I had seen on the logs, which is kind of like
Yep. The first
the
event,
first
right?
event we were talking. Yeah. Yeah. I remember going to Doramore Summer Olympics in
Hmm.
BC event. And yeah, my daughter came with us and we had a great time. And then we tried to, let's go to another event. And it was like, is it? And yeah. Yeah. Doramore set the bar kind of high and local events in Tacoma didn't quite measure up.
Oh, and by the way, Greenwords met us at that block party.
Oh, we apologize now. We probably apologized then too.
Oh, you know what? When you see us in person, we're a little less impressive. And IHAM says, correction, the cash machine was in 2005.
Oh, okay. For their first event.
Wet Coaster said, my first event was a sunset viewing event at Burnaby Mountain on August 2012.
Okay.
Wes says, not totally sure. No, I guess I can't read the whole thing whispering, right? Not
Yeah.
totally sure, but I think my first event might have been a Cito in Aldergrove. If it wasn't the first, it was close to it.
All right. And what else? CRS 98 says at the first event he went, I met J Car, who I still cash with often to this day.
Look at that, a long-lasting friendship from the
Yeah.
first event. So, folks, if you're a little nervous to go to your first event, give it a shot. You might meet a lifelong friend or somebody you know you never want to be around again.
That's
It, it,
also possible.
it's about a 50-50 chance.
Most of the time, cashiers are going to be friendly and welcoming and
Yep.
invite you in. And if you have a bad experience, try another event because that's
And
probably
Greenwords did.
yeah.
After she met us, I mean, we hardly see her at all. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
She learned her lesson.
Yeah, I think so. So I looked it up. I've been to 149 events, 14 megas, and I said 1 giga, but I think I've been to 2.
Well, my stats page says I've been to one. That was the official podcast of Geo Woodstock, whatever that was in BC. I
That
forgot
means
what
I've
number
been
it
to
was.
2.
Was that 18, 17, 19? I forget.
18.
18. Let's see. So it's my stats say I have been to 7 megas and 1 giga. And 4 geocaching, H2 block parties, 3 community celebration events, and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't count the block parties. I've been to several of those and several of the geocaching events.
As I look through my list of events, there's lots of great memories that stand out.
Mhm.
The ape, the ape events, going ape, the 20th anniversary celebration, of course, was a huge one recently. Yeah, the GIF events, and some a few different cache machines in there. Some good
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. I looked at my megas, and it's a lot of Tri-Cities Ape Event, Tri-Cities Ape Event, Tri-Cities Ape Event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's talk about mega events.
Okay. They're big.
Point taken. Next, let's talk about giga events.
They're bigger.
Okay. Okay. Well, guys, thanks. I hope you enjoyed the
Yeah.
podcast. I have to catch an early flight, but you know what? I got a little more energy in me.
What qualifies? What makes an event qualify as a mega?
3,000 attendees.
Okay.
Typically, they want to say 5,000. 5,000 attendees, 3,000 will attends, and you get to claim as a mega.
Okay.
Did I
And
say
then-
that wrong? 300 will attends and 500 attends is a mega. A mega is 500.
Okay.
A giga is 5,000.
That's bigger.
Yeah.
It's just 1 0. It's not a lot bigger.
And it's just a placeholder.
That's right.
What is it's a zero. It has no value. But yes, I guess I forgot that I guess I can say that Land Monkey's not here, that Geo Woodstock 18 was officially a giga event. It was the pent up anxiety of everybody wanting to
right.
go.
Yeah.
The other one I went to was in Cincinnati, the other Geo Woodstock there. I can't remember which one, but
Was it at WKRP?
2018.
Was it at WKRP?
No, I didn't see WKRP, and I didn't see splatted turkeys on the pavement.
That's probably a good thing. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've cleaned them up by now. So let's see. The mega event, talking about mega events. So it's 300 will attends, 500 attendees is what you said?
Yes. So if you get 300 will attends, you can expect you get about 600 people.
Okay. And as a lot of people are big fans of you get a different icon in your statistics. The mega event icon, it was first introduced on May 26th of 2006. So we're coming up on the anniversary of that.
Yeah, 20th anniversary coming up, right? And folks, why don't you tell us about your first mega event? Okay, I'm going to toss out a few topics.
Okay.
First mega event. What do you think mega events could look like in 5 years? And how far have you traveled for a mega or giga event? Toss those out. Think about those. Let's go on. Let's give them some time to work.
There. Yeah. So they introduced the icon in 2006, and the first mega event, so I think the first one to have that icon, was, oddly enough, Geo Woodstock. That's Geo Woodstock number 4, GC Romeo Charlie 6, don't you know? That was in Texas, because they do things bigger in Texas. May 27th, 2006.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the first mega event was one day after the mega icon was released.
Yeah.
There had to be some communication going on there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did Geo Woodstock push for this?
Sure.
Hey, we've got a lot of people coming. We want a special event type. What can you give us?
And that's how Texas people roll.
That's true. Everything's bigger in Texas, so they say.
And then the first international mega event was the geocaching multi-event in the Netherlands on April 14th, 2007. So just over a year later, or just under a year later. I guess international because it wasn't in the US where geocaching is based. Because I would be willing to bet that at the Geo Woodstock 4 event in Texas, some people from outside the US attended that. Just a hunch.
Yeah. Well, there probably wasn't a lot of mega events to attend in between.
True.
Since they were brand new and all.
Yeah. So then, of course, things kept getting bigger. And the Giga event icon, it was first introduced April 22nd of 2014. And the first Giga event was the same year, 2014, in Munich. Project Munich, GC4 Kilo 089 in Germany, don't you know? They do like geocaches in Germany. In case you hadn't heard, it's kind of a popular thing over there.
Yeah. That's why they had the first Giga.
Yeah.
They probably had Gigas before that and just couldn't claim it because there was no such category.
Now, Signal the Frog, he's a busy hopping little frog. He gets around to a lot of events, but his first mega event was not until 2010, July 2nd, 2010, at Geo Woodstock 8. That was in Washington. I believe that
I
was the one
seem
in
to
Carnation,
remember
right?
that.
Yeah. I remember you went to that.
Yeah. And just in case you guys don't know much history about the podcast, that's the year I launched the podcast because I thought, you know what? I'm going to have enough to talk about because of Geo Woodstock coming up
Mhm.
that I could do this podcast. So
We could
there
do
you go.
4 episodes and put it to bed.
I want to say it was April 1st, 2010. April
Okay.
Fools. Aren't I stubborn? I kept that one going for a long time.
He's playing the long game.
Yeah, 563 episodes later because we're at 564 now.
Let's see. We got chatter going on. I see the scroll by going by faster than I can keep up with it. CRS98 says, I haven't been to an event since earlier this evening.
Okay.
Just
Touche.
Carlo said my first event was a Cito. Didn't talk to too many caches, but I pulled a lot of ivy. And on the subject of distance, Keats94. Hey, well, Keats drove all the way from BC to Fredericton, New Brunswick for my first mega event.
Okay, that's a drive.
That is a drive.
That's across the continent.
Yeah.
Well done.
Nicely done. What else we got in there?
Oh, get this. CRS98 says Woodstock 2010 in Issaquah or
Mhm.
Issaquah would have qualified to be a Giga, but Giga events didn't exist yet.
Okay.
I think they
Good to
should
know.
go and retroactively make it a Giga.
That could be.
I'm going to toss that out there. Let's go push Groundspeak for that.
Komakino says my first mega, the 2014 geocaching block party.
Why, we were there, Komakino.
I
Did you
believe
meet
we were.
Greenwords and Wits End and I? That okay, CRS98 was right. It was Incarnation, not Issaquah, but it's basically the same thing.
It's the same general area there.
Mhm.
What else we got here?
We got one from
Heather.
Habus. At first I thought you meant events that we held. My first event that I held was a Cito on a weekend that included an Earth Cache souvenir. Afterwards, a few of us went kayaking on Estacada Lake. She goes on to say, my first mega was caching the bay. I was in San Jose because my first grandchild had just been born.
That's a great
Fantastic.
memory there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Komakino didn't know us at the time. He was 1 year into geocaching.
That's no excuse.
He may have come by the booth. Who knows?
Yeah, that's right.
Look at those jokers. I'm not talking to them.
That's right.
All right. Oh, and so I mentioned Signal of the Frog, but you know who else likes to attend mega and giga events? That would be those HQ lackeys. They have attended mega and giga events every year since they were introduced.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Now we're going to jump to Citos because Heather mentioned it.
Yeah.
So folks, what has been your most creative or interesting Cito you've been to?
That's easy for me.
Yeah.
I've only ever been to one.
Was it creative and interesting?
Absolutely. It was the most creative and interesting Cito I have ever attended.
And because of that, would you attend another? Apparently not.
Apparently not. Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to say yes, but that one was back in 2011, and I've not done one again since. So maybe I have to find one where they.
What did you do at the Cito?
I pulled a lot of invasive weeds.
Was it invasive weeds? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Citos where you're picking up trash, where you're pulling ivy, where you're planting trees.
Yeah.
Or with some other. I shouldn't say just ivy. You're pulling other invasive species. But anyway, You
And
want to tell us?
as I
Okay,
recall, it was cold and drizzly.
uh, that's Western Washington.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Um, Tell us what a CETO event is for the newly
Well, that's right.
initiated.
Maybe there's somebody out there joining us that goes, What are they talking about?" Well, our geocaching game board is the world, the globe, the earth, the great outdoors that we all love to enjoy. And, who likes to go out and hike a trail and find trash everywhere? Nobody.
Oh, not me.
Yeah. We like to have a nice, clean outdoors to enjoy. And the way we help contribute to that is we cash in and trash out. That's the CITO. So it's always a good practice anytime you're caching, just for a lunchtime park and grab or a hike up a trail on a weekend or whatever. If you see some trash, pack it out. Just because somebody else was too rude and inconsiderate to not take their trash with them, you can be the bigger person and take it out with you.
I often am the bigger person,
I'm not going to touch that one.
but I don't need to be.
But sometimes there are locations that just need a little more TLC than the casual aluminum can or beer bottle thrown into a sack. There's a lot of trash some places, or invasive weeds, or there's some other major trail maintenance. There's something that needs to be done. So the CITO, the CITO, was born to bring a group of people together and make a bigger impact on a specific area.
Nice. Now, I looked hard for the first CETO
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it. Now, I know they started in 2002, but I couldn't find the
Hmm.
first CETO. So,
If we had a research department, I bet they could
if
find something.
only.
If only.
Hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. Um, let's see. Camp Clan says Geo Woodstock 8 is where the Camp Clan first met caching in the Northwest, or Chris of the Northwest, under his old caching name.
Oh, the old guy. I remember that.
I'm still old. Wet Coaster says you used the photo I took for your website for years after that block party.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, we trusted you with the camera, and you did a fine job. Thank you. So much that we've used it for many years. Subway Mark says my first event was at a local pizza place about a month after I started geocaching in 2007. First mega was Geo Woodstock Incarnation, and the first giga was Geo Woodstock in Abbotsford. There you go. Look at that. All Northwest
There you
caches.
go. That was my first
All
giga.
Northwest events.
My only giga. So therefore my first.
CRS98 says my favorite CETO was one I held as the chair of WSGA North chapter. It was at Deception Pass, helping clear some invasive species because, well, Deception Pass State Park.
Yeah.
And
I
Wits
don't
End,
know.
what was your first CETO?
I was going to say it was the Jennings Park CITO, put on by WSGA 48 North. I don't know if CRS 98 was the chair in 2011 or not, but that's who hosted.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah, how about that? I don't even remember where Jennings Park is, but
Wet Coaster said after the L and A megas in Ontario, L and A. It rings a bell, but I can't bring it up. They hold a CETO. The town of Napanee cleans up the park about a week before the CETO, so people don't think it's a messy town. and then after the event, most large events, meaning megas, gigas, or even just a large event, they tend to hold a CETO afterwards to pick up, so that what they can say, those geocachers left the park looking really good.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll rent to them again.
absolutely. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Heather says, I've been volunteering with Trail Keepers of Oregon this year. I'm thinking of making a joint event with them and local geocachers.
That's a
Ooh.
great way to build community relations with other organizations. Yeah.
Okay. 2011 was well before his time.
There you go. But it was put on by the chapter rep, whoever that was at the time.
Lenox and Addington, the county where the mega was held. I've been there.
Okay.
I've been to 3 there. There you
Well,
go.
may have rung a bell with you, but probably wasn't what you were thinking. So
Nope, I don't think it was. I wouldn't have come up with Lexington and Lenox and Addington, or Lexington and Adding. I don't know. However it works out.
Lexington and Concord.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with. They're both airplanes, right?
Sure.
Oh, no, not that Concorde.
No, I'm thinking the grapes.
Oh, Concord grapes. Sounds so submissive.
The grapes of wrath. They never take a bath.
Folks, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your great input. You made this show a lot of fun. I've got to get up at dark 30.
Really, really early.
Really early. So I'm going to purposely end this show a little early. Now, we've got a couple of FTAS items that we want to talk about. And I got one that I thought was very interesting. It was kind of odd. And, we'll get to it in the FTAS. So I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And a special moment to thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism. They are our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online, and they ship online orders daily. For absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com. We also want to thank all of the faithful Denali level supporters. That would be Landsharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Groovy Owl, Cool Cal Cachers, and Cashly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website.
Like the Glow Mother, Dora Moore did.
Like Kid Vegas 19.
BC Rock Crawler.
Photographer of us once upon a time, Wet Coaster.
Oh, maybe we should have them take our picture again. And then there's Genies.
And Trexer.
MC3 Cats.
Kitty Quest.
Korscott.
Skyhawker.
Boomer 365.
LG 9000.
Mountain Bike.
Whidbey Island Gal.
M-Nerve.
Team Noltex hosted the first event we went to.
How about that? Just finding our way.
Just Carlo.
GSM ×2.
B Pendragon.
You Talks to Rocks.
Logwork.
Geocaches.
Kev MacD.
Subway Mark.
GeoBirder.
AckerDoc.
GeoNav Pro.
Limax.
JCar.
And Teus.
Flagman.
Peach of Washington.
Gas Station Tuna.
Ari 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
New patron Terrible Tease.
Wino Seattle.
Butterfly Girl.
Hey, active in the chat. CRS 98.
Greenwords.
Camp Clan.
Seebeck Tribe.
Alarobrick.
Railroad.
Segehove.
Nervous Energies.
And my favorite letter, U, as in UDAC. Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. So if you like the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. And if you didn't like the show, let us know what you want to talk about. But if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and give us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. And of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or say hello to us at an event any time of the day or night. Because, with Midnight Madness, you're up any time of the night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingNW.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2024 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
How did you know?
I had a hunch.
Oh. Okay, what FTASs do we have?
Well, Kitty Quest said this morning I went to visit the first Mason-Dixon survey marker stone. I was amused when my phone GPS told me that I had arrived at the southwest corner of Delaware.
Delaware is on the Mason-Dixon line?
Hmm.
What do I
Okay.
know?
Also, Fatas, CRS 98, getting a jump on early for next week, says, "What's a glow?"
I'll put that in the show notes for next week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, banking that one.
CRS98 says,
Yeah.
you know what we should do? If you run into me at Geo Woodstock, I'll have my microphones with me. We'll record you asking, what is a glow?
What is a glow?
Yeah, come up and ask me, hey, what is a glow? And we have Keats that says, I took the Amtrak to Bellingham last weekend. It was such a good time. Bellingham is beautiful. He also shot another YouTuber. Wait, I might have misread that. He
Yeah,
shot another YouTube episode.
goes live
Going
on
live
June 8th.
on June 8th.
Yeah. Thanks for not shooting the YouTubers.
Oh, so much fun. So I have a Google alert for geocache, for the word geocache. Read this from Kitty Quest.
Delaware, she says, is the only state that is neither north nor south of the Mason-Dixon line. It is east of it.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. And
Huh.
Keats assures you that no YouTuber was harmed in the making of his episode.
Okay. I knew it wasn't. I just saw that. It just, kind of popped up and I'm like, that's fun. Let's say that. So I have a Google alert on the word geocache or geocaching just to see what news pops up about it, right? And one of the things I got was the Flathead County Sheriff's and Kalispell Police report, right? In the newspaper, they have the police blotter. So here we go. Here's a day of the police in Kalispell. 9:10 a.m., an officer responded to a report of a fake gun that somebody wanted picked up. 8:27 p.m., someone found a bike on their front lawn and didn't know what to do with it. Okay. 10:13 p.m., a cleaning crew accidentally left behind a packet of fentanyl at a business they were cleaning.
It happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
guess.
using them anymore. Yeah. 10:36 a.m., a man was upset that a neighbor kept parking in front of his mailbox, preventing mail from being delivered for, quote, a couple of months, end quote. 10:30 a.m., Kalispell woman reported that her neighbors might have been throwing profanities and kitty litter into her yard.
How do you throw a profanity?
The same way you throw kitty litter, apparently. I mean, it's just these, you can't make these up, right?
Yeah.
11:14 a.m., a woman was suspected of being, quote, pretty high while sitting in her parked car. Turned out to be just dealing with some emotions.
Hope she's feeling better.
1:58 p.m., a man called 911 to report his girlfriend had slashed his car's tires. 2:01, someone called the police department to report seeing a Facebook post about a local trail having a lot of trash nearby. Officers told the caller they should go see for themselves instead of going off a Facebook post.
Okay.
So you read a Facebook post, you call the police.
Some people apparently do.
So I think the next one relates back to the bike. Someone found a dog in the dog park and wanted to know what to do with it. You put the dog on the bike and send them both on their way.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Here's why I got this. 3:16 p.m., a suspected drug drop was actually a local geocaching site.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And finally, at 10:47 p.m., two adult roommates got into a loud argument over the use of the microwave after one roommate claimed their home's kitchen is, quote, closed at after 9, end quote. Kitchen's closed after 9.
It's just closed. Can't microwave anything.
Mm-mm.
No nuke for you.
No burrito. Mm-mm. You get one of those hot pockets that are, like nuclear fusion on the inside and still cold on the outside.
It will destroy your mouth. Everything will taste like rubber for a month.
Yes, I'll have that. Is it done? Is it cooked in a dirty microwave?
Yes.
Um,
And that
I
old
just
little nasty cardboard sleeve they have to cook
yeah,
with, right?
the crispness sleeve. It makes everything so crisp.
Hmm.
I don't know. Those just tickled me.
Those are always kind of fun.
I found a bicycle in my front lawn. What do I do with it?
Don't know.
And if you want to, just remember, well, if you have the desire, don't throw profanities
Yeah.
or kitty litter.
If you have poo, fling it now. Hey, I
Well,
want to wish
apparently they
everybody,
did.
yeah, I want to wish everybody that's going to Geo Woodstock a fantastic weekend. I'm working all weekend, so enjoy. I'll enjoy it by proxy. Who
I
knows?
really wanted you to come along. I
You
thought
might
this would be
enjoy it
fun.
more
We could meet up
because I'm
there
not.
and
Yeah,
have a
I,
great
I
weekend together.
I would have enjoyed hanging with you and seeing a lot of our viewers and listeners, but I'm buried in a huge project, and it just
You've
wasn't going to
got a
happen.
big project on your shoulders
Right.
right now. I completely understand. So,
Maybe next time.
yep,
We'll see.
exactly. And folks, until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.